Hi there, Terry back again. Hope I find you well. Thank you to all the subscribers, old and new. I'm getting nearer to that 250. And for this slab and the mini-series. Right, this video, as per the thumbnail, Supergirl Part 2. And yes, I found a t-shirt that fits. Adventure Comics, Supergirl appearances. We start with number 394, June cover date 1970. And the cover was done by Kurt Swan and Murphy Anderson. Kerry Bates writes, Win Mortimer pencils, and Jack Abel inks. And it was called The Mysterious Motter of Duve. And Supergirl and Streaky are sent to another dimension by a mysterious tornado. And we relive The Wizard of Oz. So that's nice. And the cover story, What Break Prison. It was written by Robert Kanigher and the art by Kurt Schaffenberger. Supergirl is asked by a mysterious telepathic voice to help retrieve a universe-threatening weapon and save the lives of wrongly imprisoned heroines from different planets. Number 395, July 70. Kurt Swan and Murphy Anderson again doing the cover. And this is called The Rejected Supergirl, written by Robert Kanigher, art by Win Mortimer, and inks by Jack Abel. And Supergirl is asked to place 9 markers on 9 planets with the pictures of the most admired men on Stanhope College. I know she is super fast, but how long would that really take? Anyway, the reason she's doing it all, no spoilers, you'll have to read it. And the cover story, the heroine in the haunted house. And that is written again by Robert Kanigher, Kurt Schaffenberger with the art. Or Schaffenberger, I should say. Linda is investigating a supposed haunted house. Anyone staying there overnight is purported to go mad. Like horror movie actor Vincent Sale. Anybody old enough to remember who that might be based on? Let me know in the comments. Linda as Supergirl gets to the bottom of the mystery, but it also leaves a mystery. Number 396, August 1970. Kurt Swan and Murphy Anderson with the cover. I Am a Witch, written by Robert Kanigher and the art by Kurt Schaffenberger. This is a part 2 of the haunted house story. This time Supergirl solves the mystery. And the cover story, Mystery of the Super Orphan, written by Kerry Bates and art by Win Mortimer and Jack Abel. Supergirl wakes up with the memory of Superboy when Jonathan and Martha Kent were still alive. But she doesn't know they are Superboy's memories. So go on, guess who Supergirl really is? Guess is in the comments. Number 397, September 70. Mike Sikowski, Dick Giordano, and Gaspar Saladino doing the cover. And the story title is Now Comes Zond. Zond, not Zod. Zond's first and only appearance. Not like Zod at all. Linda meets Diana Prince, formerly Wonder Woman, at Diana's boutique. Diana's boutique that she now runs, since losing her powers. This is written and penciled by Mike Sikowski, and the inks are by Frank Giacoia and George Roussos. New clothes, anyone? Supergirl meets Nasty, again written and penciled by Mike Sikowski and George Roussos doing the inking. Nasty is Luthor's niece, daughter of his older sister who eloped to Europe as a teenager. I say older sister, I don't think he had 2, but there you go. Her full name is Nast Halthea, so I can see why it was shortened. Lex sets Nasty against Supergirl with a motorcycle gang. The idea to find out Supergirl's identity. Doesn't work out well for Nasty or the motorcycle gang. And looking at the cover, On number 399, we get to see the costume she picks from this cover. On this cover, 397, all of those pictures there, she gets to choose the costume she wants to wear. We don't get to see that until issue 399 on the cover. But in the second story, in number 398, which October cover date, covered by Dick Giordano and Gaspar Saladino, we do get to see it in the second story, as I said. But in fact, they want to show it so quickly, they forget to draw the emblem on her chest in one of the panels. It's a bit of a cheat actually calling it the all-new Supergirl, as the first story in this issue is called The Maid of Doom, which came from Action Comics number 306, November 63, which was written by Leo Dorfman and the art by Jim Mooney. But the second story is the new Catcher in the Sky, written and penciled by Mike Sekowsky, and another pulled into another dimension episode. Straight out of Land of the Giants, in fact. Well, that's how it seems to me. The inks this time were done by Mike Pepe and Dick Giordano. And then we have 399 with the costume she chose. And this is by Mike Sekowsky and Dick Giordano. And look at the story, Johnny D, Hero or Bum, as you can see there. Writer and pencils, Mike Sekowsky. Inks, Frank Giacoya. Supergirl helps Johnny D with his problems, mainly hoods who want him to throw the next game. And in this issue, in a previously unpublished Golden Age story, features Black Canary, and it's called Television Told the Tale. And it was written by Robert Kanigher, pencils by Carmine Infantino, and the inks by Bernie Salis. Now number 400, December 1970, with a Mike Sekowsky, Dick Giordano and Gaspar Saladino cover. And this is a feature-length story to celebrate the 400th issue and 35 years of the comic itself. It's called Return of the Black Flame. It's probably one of Supergirl's first enemies. Her real name was Zora Vilar, who we first met back in Action Comics number 304 in September 63. And they really mess around with what gold kryptonite does in this story. It was supposed to remove Kryptonians' powers straight away after exposure. But in this story, Supergirl is exposed to the slow-acting stuff. And once you get away from it, your powers come back. We're still living in the 60s, I'm assuming, with these stories, rather than the 70s. There's also an appearance by General Zod, and it also contained adverts for New Gods, Forever People, and Mr. Miracle #1. We have writer and pencils again by Mike Sekowsky and Jack Abel doing the inking. And then after this story, we don't get to see Black Flame again for another 11 years. And that's in Crimson Chronicles #2. Then we have 401 January 71. Mike Sekowsky and Dick Giordano doing the cover. And it's called The Frightened Supergirl, as you can see by the cover. And it's written by Mike Sekowsky and Jack Abel does the inking. I say Mike Sekowsky also doing the pencils. Lex and Nasty use a fear serum on Supergirl, where she becomes terrified of everything. Or have they really? And we have a new character in the second story called Tracy Thompson. And the title of the story is In the Strange House. The character was created, written and penciled by Mike Sekowsky, Frank Giacoya with the inks. Tracy decides to investigate an abandoned haunted mansion, just for a change, to prove to her friend Betsy there's no such thing as ghosts. Turned out she shouldn't have been such a clever dick. February 71, number 402. Mike Sekowsky and Dick Giordano with the cover. And the cover story, Love Conquers All, even Supergirl. Again, writing and pencils by Mike Sekowsky and Jack Abel inking. We get to meet Starfire, who is behind all that is going on in the background of this cover. And another Tracy Thompson story called Rat Race. Writer and penciler Mike Zakowski again. Inks by Tony DeZuniga. Tracy and Betsy this time are harassed by a group of bikers. A Jack Reacher character arrives and sorts it out. And this is Tracy and Betsy's last appearance. 404 March 71. Again, Mike Zakowski and Dick Giordano doing the cover. And we have one tale again in this issue. And as you can see the title, Supergirl. With Starfire on the cover this time. Mike Zakowski writing and pencils, Jack April doing the inks. Starfire causes lots more trouble for Supergirl, depowering her somehow. Will they or won't they return in time for issue 405? That's her powers I'm talking about. Then we have April 71. Mike Zakowski, Dick Giordano doing the cover. Starfire's Revenge. Writer and pencils, Mike Zakowski and Dick Giordano. Well, the answer to my question, yes and no. As Supergirl's power are there 1 minute, or Supergirl's powers even, are there 1 minute and gone the next. When it's like Supergirl has the upper hand, Starfire gets away. 406, May 71. Cover by Mike Zakowski and Dick Giordano. And as you can see by the cover, it's called Suspicion. And there is no Starfire this issue, but Nasty's back. You know, you remember Luthor's niece. And we see, or she sees, Supergirl go into Linda's room and Linda come out. So Linda getting out of that will be a problem. Also, she still has her on and off powers, which helps and hinders at the same time. But there is at least one positive in this issue. Linda graduates from Stanhope College. Congratulations. Then we have 407, June 71. Mike Zakowski, Dick Giordano, again doing the cover. And we have now Suspicion confirmed. And writer and pencils, Mike Zakowski, inks by Henry Scarpelli for a change. This issue, Starfire turns up. Nasty is still trying to prove Linda is Supergirl. Starfire tries to kill Supergirl in an acid bath. And it all gets really unfriendly. Let's just say this is the last appearance of Starfire up to now. Let's end part 2 with this issue. I like even numbers. It's number 408, July 71. Mike Zakowski and Dick Giordano doing the cover. It's called The Face at the Window, and it's written by Mike Zakowski, and the inks are by Henry Scarpelli. This is another haunted house story, but this is really well told, and does make you wonder, are there really ghosts surrounding us? And the last story in this issue is Invasion of the Mermen, again written and penciled by Mike Zakowski, inks by Dick Giordano, and this is a prequel to the next issue's cover story, and that issue will be in part 3. That's the end of part 2. I bet you guessed. Now, if you want part 3, let me know in the comments. Please thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Getting nearer to the 250, as I say. Also, I'm close to my 100th video, and I've ordered a special book for it. I hope it arrives in time, and it will go together with a video devoted to a theme. More news when that arrives. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for watching even. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Again, thanks very much. Bye.